Audio test. Audio test. Audio test. Test. I think we're fine. We got a lot of code and configuration to clean up today. I did a stream prior to my vacation where I showed how to build a cross-platform C++ project. And in that process, I figured some things out. And I want to apply what I've learned to my current project and get that cleaned up because it turns out I didn't need as much code as I originally thought. And that's always a good thing. Especially when you don't have a goal for your project, it's always fun to have to refactor. So let me pull up some of the changes I learned about. See if we can get that applied to this project. I'm trying to remember. Was it this? I discovered I didn't really need half the stuff I was doing before. This looks pretty straightforward. Oh, maybe it was the triplets. No. This is gonna drive me crazy. Where was this from? Oh, wait. Apparently I have a change I didn't push up. We got a port file fix for Flex. That makes sense. We have these are all just triplets defining release builds so that the pipelines don't take as long to build. You don't really need these triplets. Gosh, there was something that I was like, oh wait, I didn't have to do that? Might be presets, compilers. That looks right. Yeah, that looks good. Host, platform, target, script in. What was I doing in here? That looks good. It's the problem with going on vacation. You don't remember what you were working on previously. Just know that there was something you wanted to address. Now I gotta figure out what it was I was doing. Could have sworn I realized. Oh, it was Android. I don't need this tool chain. I had this custom tool chain defined to find the SDK and the NDK for my environments. I don't think I need this anymore. So I think I was able to, in my platforms project, be able to just say, hey, was it dirt? It might have been in the compiler. Be like, hey, just chain load the Android toolchain file that comes with the Android NDK. So I want to try and get rid of this. And I think the best way to do that. Well, okay, so there's a couple of things. I think right now, I only support building Android on Linux, but I could technically provide this option for Windows, assuming you have, Android Studio installed, which I think on Windows I do. Looks like I do. I'm going to pin that to my taskbar. I don't really need to worry about it right now, at least for stream, because I'm not really showing my desktop. I'm just showing VS Code. So I think step one then is let's break our code. I think that's the easiest way to get this to work, right? Before we do that, let's get into our actual development environment. We'll go back into our container because that's where I have everything set up. Rebuild. This will take a second, I think. Hopefully not too long. I am hungry, but I don't feel like eating anything. What a weird position to be in. You ever feel that way? You're hungry, but you don't feel like eating? It's kind of where I'm at. I've had nothing but junk this week, and I don't have any good food made. I don't really want to eat junk. Decisions, decisions. You know what, let's try this again. Add that to cart. I think that's good enough. Check out. Skip. Next. Place order. All right. Cool. Alright, just waiting for this image to finish building so that we can get our project up and running on Android again. I will get rid of that Android toolchain file, which will break everything, but I shouldn't need it, I hope. Now that I figured out that we can get by with less. Less is always more when you're writing code, especially configuration. I need to figure out if there's a way to stream free or public domain music to YouTube. I can listen and stream what I want on Twitch, but I don't think YouTube has a way to do that. I don't know. Just don't know. I do not know. Oh, we're getting there. Unpacking VS Code Awen. All right, where are we at? Do I want the Clang format extension? I don't think I do because I think the Clang D extension already gives us formatting. So I should get that cleaned up too. I also wish I could figure out a way to turn the detected git repos are potentially unsafe as the folders are owned by someone other than the current user. I need to figure out how to get it to stop bugging me about that. So I guess before I delete anything, I need to make sure that Android still builds just fine. Let's see here. I also want to get rid of the Clang format recommendation. I don't see a Clang format recommendation. It must pop up because it sees my Clang format file. That's annoying. All right. Let's build. x64 Linux Clang, ARM64 Android. Make sure that builds. Make sure the what do you call it? The APK builds. All right, it configured. Build. Mm-hmm. It built the shared object file. That's good. So then we want to build the APK. I wonder if I launch a Android virtual device on Windows, if I can do an ADB install into it. Uh, Virtual device manager, create virtual device. What's a good? I think I still try and target a Pixel 6. Pixel 6, API 37. Is that what I want to target? I don't know anymore. I'll do 36.1. Show system images with SDK. Show unsupported images. Pre-release. It's not letting me hit next. Okay. Download the pre-release. No. I don't want pre-release. I want 36.1. Oh, I have to select the system image. Google APIs, x86, finish. Ooh, that's not going to work if I don't have an x86 64-bit build for my Android. Right now I'm only doing ARM. Which means I'm really only using my phone at the moment. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Launch the virtual device. So it might be something else I try and get done today is getting my Android device up and running, or installing the APK to the Android device. Wow, this is taking forever to build, isn't it? So I guess while we're waiting for that, let me see if I can get this showing up on my desktop. Um, what do I do? Do I add it to here? This is temporary. I shall return. Or no, before I do that, I need to create a new scene called AVD for Android Virtual Device. Yep, it'll be black. And then I want to add a window capture. Window capture, display capture, window capture. AVD capture. We will select the Kimu Pixel 6 device and hit OK. All right, so now everyone should be able to see an Android. So then I need to add it to my scene here. Add scene AVD. Here we go. Uh-oh. It's not really what I want to. So then if I come here, you can see me and the Android device. Is that where I want it? I feel like it should be on the right. Hmm. How's that look? So now what do I do? All right, the APK is installed. Can I do an ADB install? Does it actually find it? I don't know if I've set up my dev container to do any port forwarding or anything like that. So I might need a little bit of AI help. I had this working at one point. Maybe I can look at my commit history and see what I did. It's been a minute, but I think I have to like forward the virtual machine in my dev container for this to work. So if I try and do an ADB install, I'm guessing it's not going to find a device. Yeah, it failed. Um, Gosh, can I find that? I had this working prior to converting everything converting everything to a single dev container. So I want to look at commits. Commits, there we go. Did I have it working back then? Yes, I did. Okay, so I want to look at the where was that? Pets. All right, so I want to look at the code. Browse repository at this point. This is what I'm missing. I don't know if I need all of this, but USB. All right, so this will expose the KVM, expose USB devices. I think for that to work, I also have to do something in my WSL environment, but I don't think I need USB devices to work with this Android virtual device. But I'm hoping that's all I needed. Um, is that all I needed? Well, only one way to find out, I guess. I need to rebuild or relaunch. I don't know if I need to rebuild. These are just run arguments. Maybe I just need to relaunch. If I reopen locally, and then reopen in container, maybe it will run with my arguments. I actually don't know if that's true. Let's do a rebuild anyway, just because it popped up. Sometimes just do it anyway. Sometimes we just do it anyway. All right. That should be good. I don't need clang format. I gotta figure out how to turn that off. I think it's happening because I have it installed on Windows, which I actually need because ClangD isn't working very nice on Windows because I don't use Clang to compile on Windows. It's annoying. I don't know what to do about that. All right. We're back in. So now let's try and do an ADB install again. See if it finds my device. Even if it did, I built the shared object library in the APK for ARM, not x86, but this I'm on an x86 machine, so this virtual device is x86. But hopefully it'll at least tell me if it will install or not. See, I don't really need Bluetooth. Do I have internet on here? Can I use my Android device to browse the interwebs? That'd be kind of cool. I realize my vertical display doesn't show my Android device. I don't know what I can do about that. I guess I could add it next to my face, maybe? I just don't know if it's worth it. Because I don't think anyone on you is watching on YouTube. I'm not going to bother. I also need to get some video editing done for my how-to. But I'm lazy and I don't feel like doing any work. Video editing feels like work. All right, something. Okay, so it didn't quite work yet. The build succeeded. ADB install failed. All right, so this might be where I use some AI to help me out here. I have an Android virtual device running on Windows, but when I try and run my ADB install target from my dev container, it fails to install to the virtual device. If I had to guess, it might be a WSL thing I have to do. If I had to guess. No internet connection. Connected, no internet access. Hmm. T-Mobile 5G. What? Found that art isn't available in the container, so I'm falling back to grep to locate the actual ADB install target definition. Okay. Is it running? Continue in background? Yes, it's running. Release ADB. Hmm. Okay, what are we dealing with here? I confirm the target currently runs plain ADB uninstall install with no device or host hints, so I'm now checking live ADB visibility from inside the container. Yeah, obviously I don't think there's any visibility because I'm in a Docker container inside a WSL environment. The terminal process terminated. So it looks like we are wanting to see what sockets are out there. It's reading my README. Interesting. I've confirmed the target currently has no way to select a remote ADB server or a specific emulator, so I'm going to patch the CMake targets to support ADB server socket and optional serial selection, then add a short README note for the, okay. So target ADB install dash in is now what it's trying to do. I'm going to let this automatic VS Code CMake configuration to finish before I hit allow. Okay, allow. Terminal process terminated. So now it's trying build preset, target ADB install. I thought it already did. Error. Trying it again, I guess. All right, I'm just gonna let it allow all commands this session. I'll just let it keep going. At some point, I will have all this infrastructure stood up so that I could write a little bit of C++ code. Okay, so what do we got here? Your failure is the classic container to host ADB visibility issue. Oh, it's classic. That's on me. Everyone knows that, obviously. Inside the dev container, ADB had no visible devices. That makes sense, because I didn't set that up. So the install target code could not find your window emulator. I assumed. I implemented a fix so your ADB install flow can target a host-side ADB server and a specific emulator serial. Added support for ADB server socket from the environment into the ADB install target. Added optional device selection. ADB serial for both uninstall and install. Added Windows host emulator instructions in the README. What to do now? On Windows host, run adb kill server adb-a no daemon server start in the dev container. Set export adb socket TCP Windows host IP. Is this gonna be? Is this not worth the effort? Should I? Should I just try and run the emulator from the container? I don't want to expose my IP address, I don't think. Not that it really matters. I'd prefer not to. Unless I can do localhost. I swear I had this working before. Am I crazy? Maybe I didn't. Maybe I had the emulator up and running, which means I might need Kimu installed in my container. Oh my god, how big does that make my container? What's the easiest path forward to test an APK install on an Android virtual device? I'm running my container in a WSL environment on Windows. Would it be better to launch an AVD within the container itself instead? Start emulator on Windows. On Windows, run ADB server in remote listening mode. ADB kill server. How do I do that? Are you seriously saying I have to open up a terminal every time I want to do this? Let's try this, I guess. Start emulator. ADB kill server. ADB isn't a recognizable term. You don't. This is the problem with AI. It assumes you know what you're doing. In the container point, ADB to Windows host server. I really don't want to mess with IP settings and variables. If I launched an AVD from within my container, wouldn't ADB install just work? Ugh, lame. All right. Well, I tried doing it your way, but it is not an emulator problem. It just means Windows can't find ADB. Use this in PowerShell to locate and run ADB immediately without changing path. If ADB is empty, install platform tools from Android Studio. Oh, do I need to do that? Open Android Studio settings, Android SDK. All right, I'm going to do that real quick. It's not going to be showing on screen because I'm lazy and I don't want to deal with it. Trying to figure out how to show all this to you guys, to the one person watching. But I need the Android platform tools, which I do have. Okay. So I need to try and run this command, I guess. Paste anyway. Okay, so that appears to have worked. So I need to add platform tools to my path, I guess. Ugh. Maybe the real solution here is to hop out of the Linux container and just run this on Windows. Maybe I try that. Because I really don't want to mess with... This is so complicated. Okay. So let's switch back to Windows. Reopen folder locally. I mean, I have Android Studio installed, so it shouldn't be too big of a lift, I don't think. I just need to set up the Android platform, I think. Presets, platform, Android. Ooh, Windows. Android. Host is Windows. Host is Linux. Oh. I already have it on Windows. Maybe that's why this always worked. Come on, guys. What are you doing to me? So we selected for Windows. Jeez. People? Now the other question is, what... x64 Windows, ARM, Android. Okay. So let's see if this works. Duh. Well, this saves a lot of headache if that's true. Ooh, my food might be here. My food might be here. Come on. Oh wait, is it actually... It's not doing anything. CMake was unable to find... Uh-oh. Whoops. I screwed something up. Android NDK 2904 not found. Ooh, I might not actually have my Android environment variables set up because I don't think Android Studio sets them for me. No, it doesn't. Oh, this is annoying. Android, okay, so what do I need to define? I need to define... I have it in my Docker file here. I need to define Android NDK home. Android home. So Android home points to the SDK, and then the NDK home points to the NDK. So I got to figure out where that stuff is installed, which I think is in app data, question mark. So I'm going to take a look and see if I can find app data local, Android, SDK, NDK. Ooh, the NDK I have is 28, but I have an SDK and I have an NDK, so let's try this. So I'm going to add that to my Android home environment variable, Android home, paste that in there. I'm going to also create an Android NDK home and paste the path to the NDK in there, hit OK. And I am going to close VS Code and reopen. Error during CMake configure, no index found. I'm sure that's fine. I'm sure that is not a problem. All right, so let's configure and see what happens. Error immediately. Hey, it found Android NDK is in my app data NDK. Include could not find requested file. Well, if my food's here, I might just have AI do this. Oh. No, my food isn't here. Oh, they're stopping at someone else's house. They're not even close to being here. Dang it. I'm so hungry. That's crap. Android NDK could not find requested file. Oh, we're looking for the Android toolchain file. So I need to make sure I actually gave it the right path. App data. Local Android SDK NDK build. Oh, okay. Yeah. I have to add the version number to the path. Or to the Android NDK home. I didn't do that. Android NDK. That actually should be that. Okay. Do I have to reload? Probably. Let's see if I can get away with it. Configure. Yep. All right. I got to reload. All right. Let's try and reload the window. See if that's good enough. Otherwise, I'll have to close the application. Configure. It's still looking just at indicate. Okay, so I got to close the application. I tried. Cannot say I didn't try. You can't say that. Don't say that. Configure again. There's the version. We're getting somewhere. Stuff is happening. All right, we are compiling for Android on ARM, but I'm on an x86 machine using an x86 emulator. So we'll see what happens. Can I launch an ARM emulator on x86? Is that a thing? Virtual device manager. Create. Can pick. Not really letting me pick new hardware profile. We'll see what happens. I can always change the build target on Android here to x86. That's not a big deal. Not a big deal. Okay, so that successfully generated. So let's build. That built. Let's create an APK. Error. Java is not set and no Java command could be found in my path. Right. You gotta have Java on your system, and I don't have Java. But I don't know if Android Studio installs Java for you. Guessing not. SDK tools. There's Android. NDK side by side. Ooh, there is an update, an NDK update. Android SDK command line tools not installed. I feel like I might need that. I'm gonna install that. SDK updates. Let's install that. Hit OK. The following components will be installed. Command line tools uses the 143 megabytes. Hit OK. Finish. Okay, so I might need to get. Oh gosh, what do I even need? Oops. Android Studio Java. Java. There's no Java. I earned an Android Studio badge. Java. Okay, so intelligent code editor for Java. That's not. No. Is there like a requirement? I don't know what version of Java I need. Android Java Android JDK Windows. Right. Android JDK Windows. I assume it's 17 still? Yeah, they're doing 21. If you need to install a standalone JDK for command line work or specific project requirements, for most users, the best approach is to use the OpenJDK version included with Android Studio. So maybe I just don't have it in the path. Let me see if I can find it. Where would that be? Is that also in app data? Local Android SDK. Well, I don't see a JDK folder. Let's check inside the NDK, I guess. No. Where is it bundled? Copy of the latest JDK comes bundled with Android Studio. To use the bundled JDK, do the following. Open your project in Android Studio, select File, Project Structure. In the SDK location page and under JDK location, check the User Embedded JDK box. Oh, so maybe I didn't tell it to install. So I need to open up Android Studio. Plugins, got it. There's a Flutter plugin. That's cool. JDK Visual. What's it saying to do? Open your project, select File, Project Structure. In the SDK location page, I feel like I should just be able to install this. Profile or debug APK, Virtual Device Manager, SDK Manager. Oh, what's this? Plugins, download JDK. What is this? Key map? What is key map? I don't want to add a shortcut. I want to download the JDK. Import Android code sample SDK manager. Other settings. Tools. SDK tools. Android Auto API, Google Play Services, USB driver. I'm not seeing JDK anywhere here. That's crazy if you have to actually create a project just to get the JDK installed. Why can't I just install it? External tools. What's this? No external tools configured. Hit plus. Oh, I have to actually add it myself. This is lame. All right, well, oh well. All right, so new project. I'll create a new project. Phone or tablet, I guess. Hit next. We'll call it, sure, my application. Sure, why not? All right, so what is it saying? Open my project, go to File, Project Structure, and the menu bar in the SDK location page under JDK location, check the Use Embedded checkbox. So File, Project Structure. Okay, that didn't do anything. In the menu bar, in the SDK location page under JDK location. SDK location page. I feel like I should just install OpenJDK. Project structure. Project structure is unavailable while sync is in progress. I just want this to work. Oh, great. Now my food isn't even on the map anymore. It's all falling apart. Can I stop the sync? All right, I'm going to stop the sync. Project structure. SDK location. There is no JDK option. Are you kidding me? In the SDK location page and under JDK location, there is... I give up. This is... I don't understand why this is not working. Project structure, SDK location. There is no JDK option. File settings, build execution. There is no build. File settings. build. Oh, there it is. Execution, build tools, Gradle. Enable parallel Gradle model fetching for Gradle 7. All right, Gradle JVM criteria version 21, advanced settings, any vendor. So for this to work, there has to be a hmm. Ooh, there is a JDK. That doesn't look right. There's a JDK specifically for my 36.1 platform. I don't know. Internal VM. This, I don't know if this is an actual JDK. This is insane. The Gradle JDK dropdown contains the following options to select from. How old is this? Because I don't think this is true anymore. Doesn't say how old this is. File settings. Build tools, Gradle. Local installation, wrapper. Version 21. Eclipse, Timiran. Okay, so any vendor. Is it downloading? Unable to find Gradle tasks to build. Build mode compiled Java. Come on. Which JDK compiles my Java source code? Whether your source code is written in Java, blah, blah, blah. There are several places. You must choose a JDK. All right, whatever. I'm just going to. Is it this one I want? I feel like I've used this site before for some reason. Timiran containers, GitHub Actions, REST API, Linux repositories, Eclipse Foundation. Open JDK 21 Windows. Hi, Trill. How you doing? Kitty? Oh, there's downloads up here. I missed this completely. All right, so x64 JDK. Is this a download button? What's the download button? A zip file or an installer? Let's do the installer. Ooh, but that looked like version 25. Is that what I wanted? Oh, I want like 21? I want 21, right? Windows x64 Java runtime environment, Windows 64 JDK, 21 zip MSI. I think I want this one. I hope. I have no idea. We'll figure it out. So we'll let that download. Looks like it did. All right, so I'm going to double click and install it real quick like. Install for all users. Add it to the path. Set or override the Java home variable. Yes. Install. Yes. Finish. Okay. JDK is installed. Exit. Let's see if that was good enough. Let me verify the Java home variable was set. Not seeing it. Oh, there it is. Okay, it was set. So I'm going to close the window, reopen. We are going to try this again. So what were we doing? We configure first. What are you doing, Trill? Where are you? What are you doing? My cat's just chilling with me. Okay. All right, so that compiled. So now, but we already knew that. We need to build the APK, which requires Java Home. I think that's the real question. All right. It says my food is 6 minutes away, but the driver is not on the map. Weird. Very weird. We got some errors. Maybe because I need version 17. I'm not sure. The Ninja generator does not support C++ 20 modules using Ninja version 1.10. Due to lack of required features, Ninja 1.11 or higher is required. Am I not? Do I not have Ninja installed? What are we doing here? Downloads, tools. Yeah, we have Ninja 1.13. Alright. I am sending this to the AI because I don't feel like trying to debug all these issues. I want the command. None of this was the command. Oh, right here. Trying to build my APK. Let's see what happens. It's getting annoying. So if I run Ninja, yeah, at 1.13. What the heck? What the hey? Oh, my driver reappeared on the map. He's almost here. We're okay now. I confirm you already have Ninja 1.13 installed, so the clean fix is to override AGP's old SDK Ninja path and Android's. Does Android come with a different version of Ninja? Is this going to cause issues? I wonder what all we've been messing with here. I don't really need any of this. I want to clean this up. Don't need that. This is going to override. Please tell me you're checking if this is Windows. Prefer a host Ninja with C++ 20 module support when AGP picks an older SDK. I mean, can I not just grab a newer Android SDK? Okay. Let's try this again. This is turning into a bigger effort than I thought it was going to be. So let's make sure we actually, oops, let's configure. Oh, we're already configuring. What's going on here? Building the APK. Okay. I'm assuming this means something is happening. If we look at our build folder, oh, wrong build folder. Where's my builds? Build, Windows, ARM64 Android, installed bin, app. Our shared object is there. Actually, I think the APK ends up going into here first. Outputs, APK. But that could have been from Linux, if I'm honest. I'm not sure about that. It might be in the middle of compile. You know what? I'm going to cancel because there's no output. It's hard to tell what is happening. Let's configure. Make sure that's still good. Okay. Compile. Everything should compile. Okay. Build the APK. The APK built. Sweet. Now do ADB install. Failed. Okay, so that's the part I need to get cleaned up now. All right, we're getting there. And my food is here. We'll return. Yummy. So I need to figure out. Well, I guess I don't need to figure out anything. I can just do this. Could also just be an x86 ARM issue. I don't remember if it will let it install but then won't run. Hmm. Something's happening. It's there. It probably just can't run. What are you doing, Trill? Hmm? Yeah, I don't think it can run. I don't know why this is still running, though. It might be the changes that were made. Let's get rid of this. I think I want to get rid of this. Yeah, I want to get rid of that. Let's discard these changes. Let's run cmake configure again. Can I uninstall this? How do you uninstall on old versions of Android? Uninstall. Okay. Let's do ADB install again. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. And that crashes, I'm assuming, because it's built for ARM, but this is an x86 emulator. So now, what I really need to do is create an x86 Android release preset. On Android. So right now we have x64 Clang, x64 or ARM 64 Android. So I need this. Except this will be x64. Target x64. Do I have an x64 target defined? I don't think I do. Nope. x64 Android. It should just be. What is this? Is it x86 64, I think? And does VC package have an x64 triplet for Android? It does. But I need a release version of it. Does it have one? x64 Android. It does not. Okay. So we're gonna add a release version. On Windows? Hmm. I don't even think I need all of this. I think this is all I need. I'm gonna create a new triplet. x64 Android release.cmake. paste this in here and set the VC package build type to release. So far away. And we'll make sure our values line up. VC package make build triplet x86 Android ABI x86-64. That looks good. All this looks good. So then we will come in here. We'll change our preset to a 64-bit Android build. We'll let that configure. Ooh, still did not run. Hmm. Ooh, I wonder if I'm... Oh, interesting. Shouldn't need this. SDL should do this for me automatically. Hmm. Something's happening. Yeah, this doesn't seem right. Isn't there like an SDL main header I can include? Also, there's nothing being rendered. I expect Pong to work. All right. We are thinking. Okay. Going to ooh, it's going to take a screenshot. Interesting. And read the pixels, I guess? Ooh, it doesn't like that. Why is it not? Why is it not? It's struggling with this. All right, whatever. I don't want to. I don't know if I want to deal with this right now. Let me see what changes are actually worth keeping here. I definitely want to keep that. I don't think I want to keep that. I don't want to keep that. I want this. I want this. And this. And x64 support for Android builds. So I definitely want to keep these changes. We'll go ahead and push those up. I don't think there's anything else I want to do right now. So this might be a fight for another day. Anyone who came by and popped in, I appreciate you watching, but I am going to go relax for the rest of the